Criteria for triangle congruence. First one, side, side, side. If three corresponding sides are congruent in two triangles, then the triangles are congruent. So as we can see right here, we have GI congruent to JL. We have IH congruent to LK. We have HG congruent to KJ. So triangle GIH is congruent to triangle JLK, and this is by side, side, side. Included angle, the angle in between two sides of a triangle. So here we have angle P, and angle P is between MP and PN. And here we have angle S. Angle S is in between QS and SR. So angle P is in between sides MP and PN. Angle S is in between sides QS and SR. Side angle sides. Two corresponding sides and their included angle are congruent in two triangles. Triangles are congruent. So here we have MP congruent to QS, we have angle P congruent to angle S, and we have PN congruent to SR. So we say that triangle MPN is congruent to triangle QSR by side, angle, side. Included side, the side in between two angles of a triangle. So here we have AB, and that's in between side angle A and angle B. Here we have DE, that's in between angle D and angle E. So AB is between angles A and B. DE is in between angles D and E. Angle, side, angle. Two corresponding angles and their included side are congruent in two different triangles. Triangles are congruent. So here we have AB in between angle A and angle B. And here we have DE in between angle D and angle E. So we say triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF by angle, side, angle. Non-included side, a side not in between two angles of a triangle. So here we have UV, and that's not in between of angle T and angle V. Here we have XY, that's not in between angle Y and angle W. So UV is not in between angle T and angle V. XY is not in between angle W and angle Y. Angle, angle, side. Two corresponding angles and their non-included side are congruent in two different triangles. Triangles are congruent. So as you can see right here again, we have this angle, angle T, matching up with angle W. We have angle V matching up with angle Y. And then we have V to U matching up with Y to X. So we say that triangle T, U, V is going to be congruent to triangle W, X, Y. And that's by angle, angle, side. Angle, angle, angle. If three corresponding angles are congruent in two triangles, then the triangles are similar by angle, angle similarity, but not necessarily congruent. So as we can see right over here, these two triangles, they're the same shape, but a different size. So triangle ABC is not congruent to triangle DEF by angle, angle, angle. Side, side, angle. if two corresponding sides in a non-included angle are congruent in two triangles, then the triangles are not necessarily congruent. So if we take a look at what we have here, we have CA congruent to BO. Then we have AT congruent to OT. And we have angle T congruent to angle T here. And as you can see, this triangle right here is an acute triangle because it's less than 90 degrees here, but it's an obtuse triangle because this angle is more than 90 degrees. So triangle ACT is not congruent to triangle OBT, and should have used different letters here. And we're going to say they're not congruent by side angle. So we cannot use angle, and we cannot use side angle for triangle congruence. Hypotenuse, the longest side opposite the right angle of a right triangle. So if we take a look, A to C is going to be congruent to D to F, and these are the hypotenuses of the right triangles. So we have AC, and then we have DF. If we look at the legs will always start at the right angle and go towards an endpoint of the hypotenuse. So here we have BC, and here we have EF. As you can see, BC is a leg of right triangle ABC, and EF is a leg of right triangle DEF. Hypotenuse leg. If two corresponding hypotenuses and legs are congruent in two right triangles, the right triangles are congruent. So as you can see, we have right angles here, we have a hypotenuse, and we have a leg. So we say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF by HL, which is the hypotenuse leg.